Hey guys, I'm Rick.
I'm Joe.
And today we're just going to talk, which we know you love.
Yes, a lot of blobbity-blah for our biggest fans.
Yeah, this is popular demand right here.
It is. Here's over-under.
This is over-under.
Over-under.
Over-under. So we're doing over-under on, is it guitar players today?
I think so.
Okay, over-under guitar players. We've got the mystery box.
What's in the box? Mystery, what all's in there?
Yeah, sometimes it's pedals when we do fun stuff like that, but this is people's names. Ooh. And I'm going to let Joe go first.
Okay.
It's a genre. Rick and Joe show.
So we just pick one here?
Yeah.
All right. Who do we got? I'm pretty sure that's a G, because it looks like it says Sinister Bates. But that's Sinister Gates. Of course, that'd be the first one picked. I'm going to just say rated, because I think as much as I love him, part of what I do love about him is he doesn't always sound perfect. There is that little bit of a punk attitude, or almost Brian May-esque, the seat of your pants kind of thing.
Yeah,
you hear string noises. It's not completely perfect, which I actually like because it sounds like a real person playing a real instrument.
Yeah.
I don't think he's overrated.
I think he's right there in the
I think he's right in the middle. Because he's got just as much hate as he probably does love. So
I think that just comes from being in a popular American
you're a
rock
bigger
band.
target.
You're gonna totally get it. I think I have to agree with you. I definitely don't think he's overrated. I think technically his skill's great. We talk about this a lot, but people that I feel are great guitar players are capable of writing melodic solos that you could sing along and
something
get
memorable.
stuck in your head. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I go by that rule, he's definitely perfectly rated.
Cool.
All
right, next one.
Tom Schultz.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a good one. I'd say underrated. Because a lot of people know Boston. A lot of people, know those songs, maybe know the names of the band members.
That was me.
So definitely underrated. And considering what he did on the first Boston album, as far as how meticulous he was about getting everything recorded, he's a genius. Also, I mean, the dude's I think he worked for Polaroid for a while. He's actually developed a lot of technologies. He invented the Rockman. Which, if you're not familiar with that one, that's one of the first, I think battery-powered headphone type amps.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm going to say underrated.
I didn't know who he was. He said Boston. Now I know who he is. So I'd have to say underrated because I'm like, yeah, Boston, and then I'm like, Tom Schultz. I have no idea.
Yeah. So
I'd go underrated just because I like Boston, and I did not know Tom Schultz.
Who doesn't like Boston?
Yeah. Your draw.
There we go. I can pick one out. We'll get through this.
Just one.
Why I get all these Slash? Of course.
Oh, this one. We might be opposites on this one, or the same.
That one's a tough one for me, and I know I'm going to seem a lot of wishy-washy in a lot of this stuff, but I would say some people consider him, he's the best ever. No, and I will say I have not really enjoyed anything since the Guns N' Roses days necessarily.
Yeah.
But again, kind of back to the same thing with Gates. If you can write a solo that people remember, I think he is going on the cusp of overrated for people that maybe are not as geeky or as into guitar as we are, that know the ins and outs of everything and go, well, technically is this good? Is this? But he's got solos, he got stuff that's memorable. So I'm going to say he's almost to the
borderline
overrated
and that
part.
Could be,
but again, it's because who doesn't know who Slash is? Even if you don't listen to Guns N' Roses, you don't listen to Velvet Revolver or any of the bajillion side projects he's been in.
The Snake Pit.
The Snake Pit. You people could look at that and go, that's Slash.
Yeah.
They see a top hat, they see a cigarette hanging. Well, no, not anymore, but You know,
And I mean, and if you hear Slash playing, you know it's Slash.
So.
And I think we're jaded a little bit because of the fact that we've been in the music shops for a long time.
Yeah.
And he gets played all the time.
Yeah,
His
we're kind
voice
of
gets played
just kind of sick
picture.
of
Yeah,
it at this point.
Yeah, so it's really, yeah. So I think, and I think a lot of his great stuff is the stuff you don't necessarily hear on the radio. You know, some of that, especially some of that Use Your Illusion
Dude,
songs.
Strange.
My favorite song ever. By
Give me
Guns
some
N' Roses.
12-minute Guns N' Roses songs any day. I'll take them.
If there's more Slash solos than Axl singing, it's a good thing. All right, moving on. Oh, I'm glad I got this one. Yngwie Malmsteen.
Oh, God.
Yngwie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, his gig bag is like $200. So, yeah, I'm going overrated.
I mean, again, it's probably a mixture of, you know, maybe knowing stuff and things like that, and just being sick of hearing it. Maybe in the early, you know, mid 80s when doing sweep arpeggios was something new. It's not anymore. It's just been kind of driven into the ground. So he's good, but unfortunately he has spawned so many people just, let's do Paganini on guitar. Let's do this.
Well,
let's
that's
minor
why-
harmonic sweep arpeggio every single thing and just okay,
Seriously.
great.
People who say, yeah, I'm into Yngwie, I'm like, name me one of his songs.
Right.
Can you give me one title to one of his songs?
Is Rising Force the name of a song?
No,
I don't know.
no.
And again, you Google him, it's probably going to be him doing Paganini or something.
Which he didn't write.
He didn't write it. So I would definitely say at this point, again, maybe it's just being jaded, but overrated, because what else has he got?
The scalloped Fender Strat.
It does. And it's kind of ugly. But anyway,
Anyway,
I'm going to go overrated on that
we're
one.
both in agreement on that one.
So.
Shoot, a $200 gig bag. It's not mono.
The Edge.
Ooh.
I would dare say underrated on that one, just because even though I'm not the biggest fan of U2, I mean, I grew up hearing it from my mom listening to it constantly, but definitely had an influence on all the, what they call indie, shoegazy. If you use a bunch of delay, you know, obviously the praise and worship crowd seems to really take, you know, in.
They did take that and go with it.
So I'm gonna say, you know, underrated, because when you hear lists of great guitar players, he's not necessarily on there.
Or he's not very high on it.
Well, it's because again, he's not doing sweep arpeggios at
Right,
the speed of
right.
light for every.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think that we could go back to the Yngwie on that. Like, technical ability isn't necessarily.
Do you remember the
only
song?
thing yeah, it's not the thing. And I think Edge kind of personifies that. He's not. He is a great guitar player, but that's not how he writes, and it's not what he really does in a lot of his songs.
Exactly.
It's more about what you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and I'd say definitely a pioneer for using effects and coming up and blending different effects to come up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'd say. I mean, of course, I'm in the praise and worship scene, so we talk about Edge a lot. I feel like he's appreciated very much, but I think overall, I'd say underrated. In everything that he's done. So definitely agree there. And he plays all kinds of guitars. People stereotype him to a certain guitar, but he plays.
No, he plays everything.
Ooh, Eddie Van Halen, EVH.
I don't think he's overrated or underrated, because he's definitely not underrated.
Nope.
You would be a fool to think he was underrated, but he's not overrated because the man pioneered almost everything you can think of on modern electric guitar.
Yeah.
There was basically Les Paul, Jimi Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
What really has been done that is so groundbreaking since then?
There was
Nothing.
no. You definitely can say that Eddie Van Halen didn't. A lot of the guitar players we're going to talk about, because I know some of the names are in here, are directly inspired and take their playing directly from somebody else. Whereas Eddie Van Halen, it's hard to go. Yeah, he copied that from. I don't know. He came. I mean, you talk about pioneer. I'd have to agree with you on that.
Well, I mean, it's you know, some people would say he's, you know, Clapton on steroids, but he's so much different than that, because you did, you know, before him, you know, double locking tremolos, humbuckers and Strat style guitars.
I mean,
These
the
things,
Brown sound.
Almost everything, tapping, harmonics, just the noises he made. The tone. I mean, listen to anything before Van Halen, and those tones didn't exist. And then there's a whole decade of copycats after that.
Yep.
And it's still going on. And plus, every kid that walks in here, what do they like? It's Van Halen.
It is.
So.
It is. Woo.
It's definitely not overrated.
Yep, he's right there where he's supposed
Definitely
to be.
not underrated. The dude did so much for music. It's unreal.
Yeah, and I feel like the guitar playing in Van Halen is really what made Van Halen. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, did I draw that one? You draw.
Yes, you did. John Frusciante.
Oh, see this. Yeah, I knew this was gonna. I knew it was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I really don't hear his name brought up all that often. But I do think that the fandom is a bit. If you you either are like, okay, whatever, or you're like, oh my god, John Frusciante is the best guitar player in the world.
yeah. Yeah, like anytime John comes back to the band, it's like, oh,
Didn't realize you left.
prodigal son's return.
Yeah, so-
now they're gonna write good music again.
So it depends on the person, but to me, I think he's fine. Whatever. I mean, a lot of these players, I'm no disrespect, just kind of sick of, because not only do I hear the songs all the time, I hear a bunch of people trying to play their songs all the time.
Yeah.
So it kind of just gets old.
I know.
It's like eating your favorite food every day. After a while, you're just like, whatever, I don't care anymore. But I would say the people that love him, it's like Tool fans.
Yeah,
It's
so you'd
the
have to
only
go-
thing that matters.
You'd have to go overrated on that. I think I'd go overrated too, but I still think the fact that he could go. I think his versatility is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
He could do. I mean, some of the funk stuff they did up to some of their his Hendrix stuff that he
Mm-hmm.
directly copies and makes really memorable sounding solos with that. So he writes catchy licks. But I do think in the fandom of Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's definitely
Oh, he's
overrated.
so underrated.
But I think
He's
in
not that
actuality,
great.
yeah. So, but
then again,
I mean,
who
I
am
can definitely think of. I think most of my favorite Red Hot Chili Pepper songs are definitely John Frusciante songs. So
Oh, yeah.
let me hit this record button one more time. This is a fun game. Did you draw Frusciante?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
the next one.
Dino Cazares.
Ah, yeah.
Right?
Well, that one was definitely one that I picked.
Yeah, because this is another one where I'm like, hey.
Yeah, so I would say definitely one that's underrated, because if you're into what they're calling, prog metal, gent, all these different things, Fear Factory did it back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, the 7-string, the detuning, the binary code riffage, the just ones and zeros. Of course, you had bands like Meshuggah also doing it around the same time. But when I hear a lot of riffs from Periphery or any of these other bands, it's Fear Factory.
Okay.
It's Fear Factory.
Yeah.
Is what it's doing. And so I would say underrated as far as metal guitars, because again, you didn't really hear things like before say Demanufacture. And then I think it took a while to catch on, and then once gent and prog metal came along, it's just because your songs don't have a melody or a place to go does not make it prog. So sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an opinion on this.
I don't. I mean, I know Fear Factory. Not a huge prog metal guy, so don't have enough knowledge to be able to say yay or nay.
No, so I'd say underrated.
Okay. All right.
Mom, you're wrong.
No, don't go under the stupid box. Here we go.
Should have gotten a better box.
No, I'll look for a better one next time.
Uh-oh.
That was.
If this was what I'm thinking of. So we should have gotten Logan in on this one.
Oh no.
Yes.
ACD.
Angus Young.
Oh no.
That's a hard call for me on that one, because again, AC/DC, it's just like I've been beat upside the head with it for the last since playing guitar basically.
They've kind of were the first ones that did something popular and just kept doing that.
Oh, just
Like Chili Peppers did in their later with their later stuff.
It's pretty consistent from album to album, but I mean, I guess that's another one where it depends on the fandom, because if you ask an AC/DC fan who's the best guitar player ever, they're going to say Angus Young.
They will. The reason why we sell SGs
Oh, big time.
is most. I mean, why there's. It's yeah.
So
maybe Tony Iommi too, but
yeah. So, but I would say not really either, because he should get the credit he deserves, but that's one of those guitar duo things where if you didn't have Malcolm Young, it wouldn't be quite the same, because if you just soloed out Angus Young solos, it's a lot of blues based stuff. It's nothing crazy.
But it fit.
It fits.
But I think it was more of the riffs, not necessarily solos. I don't know who wrote those.
Exactly, who wrote those riffs?
I don't know.
Who's actually playing those riffs?
The Back in Black,
because that'd be like saying, wow, that rhythm work Kirk Hammett did on Master of Puppets. It's like, well, who actually played that?
Yeah, so that's tough to say. But yeah, I'd say it's kind of like right there.
We're gonna go dead even on that one. No opinion.
Yeah. But interesting conversation.
This is.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Is it?
Mark Tremonti.
Oh, okay.
Shoot, I don't know. This is tough. This is me thinking more about the bands that he played in and not the actual talent that the guy has.
This is a lot of non-answers. Well, remember, it's not about talent. It's about how people perceive them.
That's why I'm going to go overrated. I got to go overrated because... but then again, Creed would not be Creed without Tremonti. Like, those songs were definitely written by Tremonti. And Tremonti, whatever.
I mean, maybe it's the era we grew up in, but I would say, he probably got as much credit as he deserved then.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember seeing an issue of Guitar World without his face plastered on it.
Yeah.
It's things like that. And the man's got, I think, again, kind of what you were saying, don't judge it by the music that he's necessarily, because there are some Creed songs that are way heavier. There's some that are nearly thrashy, like Bullets, where you're just like...
And he can play.
That's a Lamb of God riff if I ever heard one, and it's a Creed song, so...
And he's got some staying power. He's been... every band he's in is usually is popular.
Mm-hmm. So I would say that maybe from the era that I grew up in, borderline overrated, but I'm going to go in the middle on that one.
Yeah. So. I'm gonna leak into the overrated on that one.
So,
I have to
tiptoeing towards it.
Yeah. Your pick.
All right.
You got it. You got it.
John Mayer.
Ooh. This is kind of an easy one for me, and this is coming from somebody that really my playing when I first started advanced a lot when I started learning John Mayer songs, a ton. Like it was a big influence on my playing, especially in the beginning. But oh my gosh, I don't know.
I mean I respect the guy. I'm not a big fan of any of that kind of stuff, but I've heard the dude just playing around, not necessarily playing a show, but just wanking maybe backstage or hanging out with Tosin and Bossy and them jamming on guitars. Dude can play, but again, maybe because I work at a guitar store and I hear all these people mimicking his style, mimicking his riffs. I would say that he's not the Messiah. Oh. And again, if here's the thing, you can all trace it back to something.
Yeah.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, it's
all the same thing.
Yeah, it
all comes back to the same thing.
Done very well. And he's killer. And some of the riffs he wrote on his earlier stuff is so good. Later stuff,
Why You Don't Love Me?
I was just, it's just kind of like,
So
I think the fact that like his fans, and I still base it off of fans. I think fans in the eyes of fans,
they ruin it.
He's overrated.
Definitely overrated.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't mean I don't think he's talented. Nope. Anybody that's ever been on Chappelle's shows probably got my respect.
He's funny. He's
kind of funny.
He's got that good dry humor that I like, but I just think
And he was a friend of Bob Saget, so.
But yeah, I think we're both overrated on that one. And that could be the music store.
It's totally
It has
the
to
music
be.
Well, you know what?
Slow dancing
Guys,
in a burning train. Can you just play it right?
Stop. Get your own style. Play something that you want to play, not just mimic somebody else's style. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, to a certain point. I mean, we all learn, and again, it's just how it works. You learn. But
write your own music!
all right, here, moving on. Joe's on his soapbox.
I'm going to hire a stool.
Oh, jeez. I keep getting yours. John Sykes. No idea who that is.
Well, then that should give you the answer. He's underrated. For those of you not familiar, John Sykes is a guitar player who's probably, he's probably done a lot of stuff, but famous for, he was in Whitesnake, but he's also a solo artist, and in my opinion, he's a better singer than David Coverdale, who was the singer of Whitesnake. And he can do it while playing guitar. The guy was a big influence on guys like Zakk Wylde.
Okay.
Killer tone, great vibrato, great harmonics, and again, since you don't know who he is, he's clearly underrated.
That's it. So there's your
That's
answer.
just it. John Sykes, underrated.
Okay.
If I can get it open.
Well, I really wrapped those hard.
Jesus. Matt Bellamy. So this is Rick's.
One
of his
Muse is
favorites,
one of
I
my
know
favorite
that.
bands. Matt Bellamy is one of my favorite guitar players.
And if you don't know who he is, he's from Muse.
He's the lead vocal and lead guitar player of Muse. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't really hear him brought up that often, to be honest.
Not really.
So I'm gonna go with maybe underrated.
Oh, he's so underrated.
Because of his his use of effects, the fact that I've seen some live clips of Muse playing, and there are 3 people in the band.
It's a 3-piece.
And they sound humongous.
Yeah.
So any band, any guitar player that can sing and play at the same time always has my respect. So I'm gonna go with underrated.
Yeah.
Come on, K-Oscillator pad, dude.
Dude, he could play piano like a boss.
That's right. So.
Yeah, he's definitely underrated. I think his popularity is probably, maybe over here in the States is a lot less. They're huge everywhere else. They really
yeah.
are. So, maybe for somebody over in the UK, you're like, oh, he's so overrated.
Brit bands usually do much better in England for
Yeah.
sure. So.
But they did use the new Muse single for the lead song of the Daytona 500 this year.
Right.
Actually, it's their NASCAR theme song for Fox, just so you guys know.
So Rick has
Don't
died
you talk
and
about
gone to heaven.
But yeah, no, and I think I agree with you. Like the stuff he does with effects and the songs he writes and the trio is just huge. So.
And you mean to sing the way he does and play at the same time cannot be easy.
No,
So
definitely not. So cool.
underrated.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
Oh,
All right. Yeah, you picked Matt Bellamy.
Hey.
So you're picking all mine. I'm picking all yours.
This we didn't play
Ooh,
this.
okay. Mike Inzinger. From
Incubus.
From
From Incubus.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really hear him brought up that often at all. But then again, I think he's more of a what I kind of always aspire to be when I write music, where it's just about what makes the song good.
Yeah.
It's not about, you don't need a guitar solo in every song. Nope. Just like some songs need a guitar solo, and it's more about texture and fitting in with the rest of the things, which maybe I came to late because then I started making my own music and realizing like, okay, the guitar doesn't have to be the loudest thing in the mix.
It doesn't have to play all the way through?
It doesn't have to play all the way through. You don't even have to be playing the whole time. You may not even need guitar in the song.
Nope.
And it could just be noises. So, considering how popular Incubus was years ago, I'd say probably underrated. And, of course, I know we love people with giant pedal boards, so...
Yeah.
He's got a giant pedal board,
and I was definitely into Incubus when they were popular, too. And so... but it was definitely more about the Brandon, the singer. Everybody knew who he was, but yeah, I'd say underrated. I definitely think if you listen to his records, he adds a lot to those records.
Yeah,
so. And I do think he's one of the key songwriters too. So.
Should be. The guitarist always are. Come on, you think your bass player wrote it?
Yeah, cool.
Rick Puckett.
Hey, that's me. That's me.
I'm not even.
Did we?
Gonna,
I forgot we put our names.
did we put both of our names in it? Oh God.
Or maybe you did that one. I don't know. That's
No, this is your handwriting.
Oh, I totally. Yes, we're both in here.
I mean, I'm gonna go underrated. I think you're a good player.
I'm okay. Yeah, I don't. I can't answer that question. So
Yeah,
but
underrated.
But that's how I like to be.
Not what. So
That's how I don't want to. Yeah, that's how I like to be. All right. Oh, dude, I seriously, I just grabbed Joe Schmerniotis. Joe Schmerniotis. I don't know. I think the amount of people that know Joe and come to the shop and Joe demonstrates stuff are usually blown away by his playing. I've also heard his songwriting and working on we're working on a project with one of his songs right now. I'd say he's right there. He's
perfect.
right there.
Goldilocks zone.
Yeah. He's versatile. I think he definitely knows his tone, knows what he likes, and can. Yeah.
Just write your own music.
Yeah. So, all right. I can't believe I just drew yours too. That's so funny.
hilarious.
These are folded up too. We cannot see these.
And we wrote these a year ago.
It was over a year ago.
Ooh, I'm glad I got this one. Jakey Lee.
Again,
I was like, do you even know who that is?
that does sound familiar.
He was. Well, I mean, of course, there was a couple
No,
of people that.
I was
were
thinking
in
Geddy
between.
Lee. Sorry.
No, Jakey Lee was the second, main guitar player for Ozzy. Because there was other guys like Bernie Torm and Brad Gillis filled in, but after Randy Rhoads, the first guitar player to actually put on a studio album for Ozzy was Jakey Lee.
That's big shoes
Then
to fill.
he's done Badlands, and I guess now is Red Dragon Cartel. Because of course I grew up, I've been listening to Ozzy since I was like 7, but I'm gonna go with underrated because again, if you don't even know who he is,
And I
he's
know Ozzy.
definitely underrated.
Yeah.
But who doesn't know Bark at the Moon?
Yeah.
Shot in the Dark, all these different songs that he did. The playing is incredible. He's bluesy. He's shreddy. He's tasteful, and the riffs are good too. Maybe a little dated sounding because he was from the '80s, but yeah, underrated for sure. That's on.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I can name a lot of guitar players that have played for Ozzy, but I did not know him.
Yeah, he only made it on 2 albums, so that's why.
Ooh, we got 3 left.
All right.
3 left. And you started, so this is perfectly even. I don't know how.
Nice.
Ooh, this is a good one. Sorry, I always do the Mr. Poopy Butthole. Ooh wee. Kirk Hammett.
Oh man, that's a tough one. It really is. I mean, of course, been a Metallica fan since I could tie my shoes or whatever. But
This is a weird.
That's
one.
a hard one.
This is weird because I also in the mindset of Metallica fans. How do they view them?
well, again, I'm a huge Metallica fan, but I will say, I don't think everything they do is great. It's been a while since I really thought, wow, that's amazing what they're doing right now. But you have to look at their history and go, well, dude, they've done just about as much for metal and rock as, say, Black Sabbath or any other big name band. He gets a lot of flack. He's kind of become a meme, sort of like Lars has, with his, especially with his Saint Anger drum tones. But you got to give credit where credit is due for some of his solos. Fade to Black, One, anything off of the Black album.
Memorable stuff.
It's good stuff. But he can be a bit one note. We've said this in our other videos too. He can be a bit one note, big one trick pony sometimes, where it's just, okay, step on the wall and use the whammy bar. Okay, cool.
And it worked like that his older stuff from those records, like at that time it was kind of it worked, it was part of it, but it's kind of like he's tried that trick over and over and over again.
Well, I mean, when I first heard Hardwired, I was like, wow, that guy's just ripping off Kirk Hammett.
But it's Kirk Hammett.
It's Kirk Hammett. But I would say he's definitely not underrated.
No,
because if anything, he's just another one of those big targets. You're in the biggest metal band in the world. You're gonna have a lot of hate thrown at you, just as much as you're gonna have a lot of love and appreciation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think even Metallica fans. I don't think they overrate him. I think they might overrate Metallica, especially But I don't think
especially for the last 30 years.
I don't think he is an overrated guitar player.
Definitely
so
not underrated.
I'm gonna put him.
We're gonna go in the middle.
I'm gonna go in the medium.
Cool.
He's medium sauce.
All right.
Don't want that fire sauce. I want that medium sauce. You got one more fold. It's like little fortune cookies.
Speaking of annoying fandoms, Adam Jones.
Oh, guitar player for Tool. Just in case you didn't know that.
In the eyes of most normal people, they're gonna go, "Who's Adam Jones?"
Right.
In the eyes of every Tool fan on the planet, and if my buddy Jeremiah happens to be watching this, I'm sorry, Jeremiah. Way overrated. Way overrated. In my opinion, the least talented person in that band.
That's kind of that's what everybody says in the store right now.
Danny Carey, Justin Chancellor, Maynard.
Yeah.
He's, in my opinion, the weak link in Tool. But, Tool's one of those bands where it's like, there's no middle ground. You either think they're the best band in the world, or you're getting chastised for not thinking they're the best band in the world.
And that's probably another video for another day, too,
Yeah.
where we talk about bands, because I can name 3 off of my head that are like that.
But, as far as, like, the riffs, for me, Tool's all about the drums and the bass and Maynard's weirdness.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know, it's tough. I feel like I can't group Adam Jones into the overratedness that I think sometimes Tool will fall into, because I feel like the band is, I love Tool. Like, I do. I'm a Tool fan. But I think
Tool.
they're overrated.
You're right.
I really think they're overrated. But that could just be how I feel like they treat their fans and stuff like that, too. They're not, yeah. But I think the fact that he can have a signature custom Gibson Les Paul that was supposed to sell for $8,000 and
could suddenly fetch $25,000 for reasons.
Does that put you into overratedness, or is that?
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
big time. Yeah, no, that's exactly what that means.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but again, it's tough because I did. Tool was very influential on that rock playing style that I like to do sometimes, and yeah, but Drop D, I think Drop D is overrated.
It's just been done.
Drop D's overrated.
I think of Drop D kind of like I think of 90% of Tool's catalog, where it's just droning. It's like white noise at a certain point where it's just cool. Yeah, you can play in Drop D. You don't have to play in that key the entire time, though.
Yeah.
There's other notes that you can just as easily play since it's a 1-finger 5 chord. So whatever. Anyway.
I don't know. I like the better Tool, which is a perfect circle. I get to draw the last one.
Green
I
jump.
think I know who this is. Little pig.
I saw it.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh man, that's another one where if you work in a guitar store, eventually you're just gonna get sick of it. You don't want to hear Pride and Joy. You don't want to hear
Lenny
songs.
Oh my gosh, Lenny.
You don't want to hear this anymore. It's just so sick of it.
Before I worked at a guitar store, I used to love Stevie Ray Vaughan. Like, I was learning his licks and I listened to him in the car. I can't tell you the last time I actually turned on purpose any Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, because you have some of your most cliche type tropes of guitar that are just that's a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. That's a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, and then. Of course, there's the mythos and the legend of all these things about, upside down vibratos and dumbbells and the 808 tube screamer versus the TS9 tube screamer. And actually, this was a modified Fender. And God, who cares? Who cares? Grab a Strat, an amp just on the edge of breakup. Put it in the right position, and there's that tone. You don't need to buy a Dumble. You don't need to buy any kind of specific vintage pedal to achieve those sounds. So,
yeah. So I think if you look at the uber fans of Stevie Ray Vaughan, I'd say overrated. I think. I still think I don't know. I'd still think. Yeah, no, I'd have to. I hate to say overrated. I really do, because I really liked Stevie Ray Vaughan before I worked at a music store. I really did.
Yeah.
So like his version of Lil Wayne, which again is a Jimi Hendrix song. So we get into the whole derivative of
chicken and egg. What came first?
I think we both have to say overrated though. I mean,
yeah, probably because again.
That one hurts a little bit, but yeah, I do have to go with that one.
I mean,
the burnt probably hurt a little bit too.
Well, no, that felt good. It's just another one of those things where it's just like, okay, I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix. So, like,
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
Overrated.
Cool. Let's do some quick blasts. No explanation, just over or under. Jerry Cantrell.
I think he's right in the middle.
Okay.
He's not overrated. There's a couple I was thinking that we didn't have. Well, first of all, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, we didn't put him in there, but I think that's because I feel like he was a pioneer. So like I'd say he's right there where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he needs to be. So.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Then my second one was gonna be Joe Bonamassa.
Oh yeah, I thought he was in the box.
I thought he was.
Bonamassa must have jumped out.
He must have snuck in here to the back again and stole himself out.
Well, we also know he doesn't prefer the box. Oh yeah, dude, overrated.
I mean, I respect the guy. I understand he, especially somebody that's into gear, which even that I'm kind of sick of these days now. Sorry, but he gets a lot of this attention about, oh, it's so great, he's so great. Well, I mean, first of all, how old is he? He's in his 40s or something, 50s maybe. He's been playing guitar since he was like 3, so he should be pretty decent.
Yeah,
but. Can you name a song of his?
Nope.
I can't either, and I'm pretty sure 90% of them are just blues standards.
They are.
You didn't write those songs, and chances are, again, I might not be as educated on him as I should be. I've watched him on PBS and things like that because I'm an old person and I watch PBS, but I didn't know any of those songs, and I don't know if he did them any better than the people who wrote them. But again. If you're just write your own music.
Yep.
Write your own music. If you can spend that much time, get that much talent level, you should probably be able to come up with something of your own, even if it's not the great. One of the good ones, Eddie Van Halen. Rather bomb at his own music than make it on somebody else's.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good quote.
It is.
McCready. What's
Mike
McCready thing?
Yeah.
I was for some reason thinking, over under.
I mean, if people are even rating him, because even you had trouble remembering.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's another Hendrix clone.
Yeah,
he's another Hendrix clone. Sorry, Mike, you're a Hendrix clone.
Probably
Everything you
great
do
songs,
sounds like Hendrix.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Kurt Cobain.
As a guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're saying that anybody that says he's an amazing guitarist should probably have their hearing checked.
Thank you.
Because he didn't even play in tune half
No.
the time. But he wrote great songs.
Yeah.
But, just like anything, we grew up in that era, but, I love Nirvana, but definitely people can get a little obsessive, so I'm going to say overrated for sure. So... But I also have respect for people that just write the melody as the guitar solo.
Dude, I love it
because it works.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think he's overrated at all. I think he's for what he did. But
well, I think it's a fandom thing. It's like, oh my God, he's just Messiah. Okay, he's not the Messiah. He's just right place, right time.
Yep.
So, but I was thinking another one, Randy Rhoads.
I don't know. I feel like I can't say anything. Like he is what he is.
He's just Randy Rhoads.
Yep, he is what he is. Yep.
Okay. Dimebag.
Man, that's another one.
How dare you?
I don't know if he's. I mean, people. Okay.
No, he's. I think he's up there with Eddie, where it's just like, what are you gonna say? He gets the accolades he deserves.
I hate. You talk if you think his tone is good, I think you're overrating his tone. I think his playing. Yeah,
his tone is an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste.
I mean, it barely works in the mix, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think what he did, Pantera wouldn't be Pantera without that. So.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, he and I actually know some Pantera songs. I could do some Pantera. I could sing some Pantera solo riffs.
That's right.
Yeah, memorable stuff. I don't know why we didn't put him in, but it probably could because we know where he is. David Gilmour.
Oh boy. That's another.
Don't you say it, Joe.
I'm not gonna say he's overrated.
No.
I love David
No.
Gilmour because it's back to the writing a memorable solo or writing a memorable song. I think he's right where he needs to be. I think he gets the ones. Here's the one I think is. I'm just gonna go ahead and say underrated. Brian May.
Yeah. People know that one solo from Bohemian Rhapsody, and that's about it.
Oh,
But
dude.
oh my gosh.
Stone cold crazy. I mean, the dude can do anything. He can sound like an entire symphony.
Yeah.
And he can also sing. And he's a genius. And he built his own guitar.
And even Crazy Little Thing Called Love, he's like rockabilly, and that, so style wise,
Oh, yeah.
do it all.
So I would definitely say underrated on
Yeah,
Brian
with you on
May.
that one.
Again, unless you're in England and then he's the best. He's the best guitarist in the world.
He played with a halfpence or
Sixpence.
sixpence,
yeah.
halfpence,
With
two,
like
2
eight
bits.
on his guitar.
Yeah,
And that he built.
do a Vox AC30
With his PhD in astrophysics. So
Oh, are there any more? We got any more quick? I think that's about it.
I'm sure. Wait, maybe if we come up with more, we can do
Or
part two.
hey, if you got more, put them down in the comments
Yeah.
section below.
Fans.
Give us. My son loves YouTube videos, and he's like, give a thumbs up, give a big thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. But anyways, that was just us blah 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 blahing. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have more topics you'd really actually like to hear our opinions on, let us know. We'll do it.
Or definitely throw out your favorite underrated or overrated. Especially the overrated. We really like
Yeah.
Spicy.
Those
Those are spicy, right?
yeah, we got some good ones. So.
Spicy.
Anyway, I'm Rick.
I am Joe,
Thanks for watching.
and we're both overrated.